Welcome to the Morning Wood. I'm your host, John Heislip, joined as always by my friend, the great Matt Modi. Everybody knows that the best time to start laying the wood to the books is in the morning, so that's what we do every single morning on this channel. If you're not subscribed already, I suggest doing so right now. You're never going to want to miss another one of these for as long as you live. I'd even get the notifications on so you don't miss it. Before we get going today, I say we take a look at what we did last night, Matt. It was kind of good. I think I did good. We were both on Vooch. You said it first, so I'll give you credit for that one. Plus 104. Alex Sarr, I should have went higher than 12 plus points at plus 120. Then it went kind of south. Chris Paul, 10 plus assists, never really had a chance. Alex Sarr, 10 plus rebounds, never really had a chance. Tyler Hero, I didn't see how many points he ended up with. How many did
he ended up with 18 points, but in my defense, he had 16 heading into the fourth quarter, and then Terry Rozier scored like 14 points in the fourth quarter. So if you just give 9 of those to Tyler Hero, which feels generous, then he would have cashed it. So I don't really think that one's my fault. That's just the team's fault. Like Rozier stole all the shots, and they lost. So
yeah, that's a valid point. Sarr looked like he was going to get there for me, but he just he didn't. That's what happened.
Yeah.
I had a good game. I ended up profiting, which was good. But, it is what it is. All right, so before we get to today's bets, I saw my buddy Walter in the comments. Thank you for commenting, Walter. I'm not hating on you here, but you said you liked our personalities, which is great. But you said we got to stop trying to hit hero bets. And here's the thing. He's not talking about Tyler Hero.
I was just going to ask. Do you think he just meant he doesn't like?
He's talking about plus money bangers. He said it's okay to take a minus 125 bet. That's not true. That is not true. I guess it is okay. You can if you want. But here's the thing about minus 125 bets. You don't make any money doing that. You got to hit a very high percentage, one that's very hard to hit, and it kind of costs you money. It's kind of like what they do with the prize pick slips. You know how the two-leg slip is the worst one you can take, but it's probably the most popular one. You know why? Because people win more like that. They feel like they won more. But guess what, Matt? They don't win more money in the long term because we're going to do this every day. So that's why I use the term long term. We're going to do this every day. So we have to think long term because every day matters, right? Two-man slips aren't any good. Why? Do you know, Matt?
Yeah, because the odds they give you are terrible. It's like plus 200 for a two-man slip. It's the average odds of minus 137 per leg. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross. So yeah. That is literally the same mindset I have with straight bets and game. Like, I just don't do minus 120, minus 130. You can if you want, though. That's the beauty of gambling. It's for everybody. You can do whatever the hell you want. But what we're going to do is plus money bangers. Here's the thing, though. You're free to water them down if you want. You didn't have to take Sarr 10 plus. You could have taken him over 6.5 rebounds last night and cashed like a king because he got 7. But that's all I'm going to say on that. That's why we do that. If you want to water down, you can. I will never do that. I'm past that. I'm done. I like to have a higher ROI, and the way you do that is just to take better bets. Bets like Isaiah Hartenstein, double-double, plus 145. I think that's at FanDuel. I'm almost sure it is. Whatever. This was plus 190 last night. But I fell asleep before I could put it in. All right, that's what happens when people get tired, Matt. They fall asleep. It's nothing to be ashamed of. But here's the thing. This guy's getting a double-double tonight. All right, everybody knows that. He's finally healthy. He's got a starting job, and he's playing the Golden State Warriors. Those guys don't rebound at all. On the season, they allow more rebounds to the center position than any other team. Listen to some of the centers that have gone for double-doubles against them in the last week. Zaire Williams, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, Clint Capella. Who the hell are these guys? I had to Google them just to make sure they were real people. All I'm saying is Isaiah Hartenstein, double-double, plus 145. It is a late game. Should cash by halftime. We're all set.
I love that play so much that I had a very similar one. As always, you're going to make fun of me, but I had him 10 plus rebounds. I didn't go with the double-double. The points scared me off a little bit, but because you're on it, he will score 10 points. I got it at plus 115 for him to get the 10 plus rebounds. you basically made my argument for me. They allow the most rebounds to centers. The only thing that I'll add is, as always, I have to add some nerd context. You think of the Warriors as like this running around screens, just bombing threes, which doesn't lead to rebounds to centers. But if you look into it, the Warriors take the 6th most shots in the NBA within 5 feet from the basket. Those are the shot attempts that get rebounded by centers when you miss them. And the Warriors don't have a starting center. Like they're starting just like Tracy, Jackson Davis. Like they gave up a lot of offensive rebounds. They have nobody, and they don't have great spacing. So they don't have anybody that would pull the center out to the perimeter. So you put all that together and you get exactly the reason why they give up the most rebounds to centers. So Hartenstein, 10 plus rebounds, plus 115, bet365.
That's huge. I wish I did have a 10 rebound. I was thinking about 12 plus rebounds. Anyone watching, you are free to do that if you want, because that is good money. I think that happens. He had 14, I think, the other night against Portland. And this is a similar style matchup, although not exactly the same, because Portland actually does have guys that are taller than like 5'8". But the next bet we're going to talk about, Scotty Barnes, triple-double, plus 1,200 at Caesars. And Jerry Maguire, the long-haired sissy boy hippie working the overnight shift at the print shop, told Jerry the most important thing that anyone has ever said to anyone, ever. He said, "That's how you become great, man. Hang your balls out there." That message is as true today as it ever has been. In fact, I say, let's become great. We've got balls. The thing is, we're really not hanging them out there with this one. We're just flashing them a little bit. And I don't even think you can get in trouble for that. For starters, a triple-double is coming for Scotty. You can just feel it. The guy had 14 boards last night. Looked like prime Rodman out there. But what people aren't talking about is the fact that he had 16 potential assists. Translation, he's finally looking like he's back to being triple-double Scotty. The only thing holding him back was schedule. He's been playing tough defensive teams. All that ends tonight because he gets the Pelicans, who simply don't believe in defense. Tyrese Halliburton just went 34 and 13 on him last night. We all saw him do it. I'm thinking Barnes throws up a similar line, except with rebounds. If you want to be simple and weak, you can do double-double at plus 220. But I'm going with the triple-double like a man. What do you think of that, Matt?
I like it. I might. I didn't look into that one with 14 games. Sometimes it's tough. You miss something. I like that a lot. I might tail you, and if it wins, then I will claim victory on that. But I like that. Mine is not quite plus 1,200 or 2,200, whatever yours was.
1,200.
But mine I would argue is a little bit better because we're backing Christian Brown to score 15 plus points. And I don't know if you've seen his mom at the draft, but dude's got a MILF, so it's always fun to back him because that's like the first thing I think of is that picture at the draft. So we're backing him 15 plus points, plus 105 odds at DraftKings. So he's played 9 games this year without Aaron Gordon. You wouldn't think that's related, but they kind of occupy the same space on the floor because they both really can't shoot. They both just kind of slash to the rim. And Christian Brown has scored 15 or more points in 6 of those 9 games. That's very nice. But what's important is that 2 of the 3 games he went under, he scored exactly 14. That would be the hook. That would be brutal. We'd not be happy with that. The other game he scored 13. So if you're telling me that of 9 games, he scored at least 13 points in all 9 of them, that's a great floor that you can bank on. And then in terms of the ceiling, we got a great matchup against a bad Jazz defense. The Jazz, 3rd worst defensive net rating in the NBA, 3rd worst. They're perfect for an off-ball guy like Christian Brown. The Jazz defense is bad, but they give up the 5th fewest points per game to pick and roll ball handlers. The only reason why is because they're aggressive with trapping whoever's running the pick and roll. So it leads to a ton of off-ball points, which is why they're like one of the worst defenses guarding 3-pointers. They also have the worst defense in transition. They literally gave up the most points per game in transition. Brown scores the majority of his points in transition. These 2 teams played earlier this year. He scored 17 points. I see no reason why he can't do that same thing again tonight.
That feels right. You had me at MILF, so I didn't know the rest of it, but I bet that's good too. I'm going to end there with mine. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to do the full unit on Hartenstein and then a quarter unit on the Barnes triple-double. That's good to start the day. Obviously, this is the morning wood. It's going to go away. There's going to be other things that happen throughout the day that's going to help us find more bets. But do you got anything else?
Yeah, I got one more.
Yeah,
Tyrese Maxey, 25 plus points.
76ers.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, that part is not great. You don't love that. I'm not.
No, when you do 76ers, I immediately discount it. But go ahead.
Well, to be clear, I'm not taking them to win. So
I
that's one thing
know, but any 76ers has been tainted. It's like the Eagles. It's like when Nigel talks about the Celtics, just immediately you can't like it. It's fan. But go ahead. The people want to know. The people still follow you.
Yeah, well, the people should know that nobody hates the 76ers more than I do. As a fan, it's not even, it's like it's a love-hate. But anyways, so there are a couple things here. Number one, you're going to look at 25 and think, well, that's really low. I understand why it's as low as it is because he's played 3 games since hurting his hamstring. In those 3 games, 20 minutes, 27 minutes, 29. So he is getting ramped up. Projections have him for 33 minutes today. If we're getting 33 minutes, I'm cool with that. He's gone over this number in 1 of the 3 games since he returned. So it's not like he's been terrible. His shooting splits are admittedly not great. So there is room for some positive regression there, just in terms of like his shooting percentage. And I like the matchup against the Rockets. Like you wouldn't think of them as a team that you want to target for props against them, but they can give it up to the guard position. They allow the 10th most points per game to point guards, which isn't great. Definitely not something to be scared of. But the ways in which Maxey scores kind of lines up perfectly with the Rockets. The Rockets allow the second most points per game via isolation. Maxey, that's the play type in which he scores the second most of his points. But the Rockets allow the most pull-up three-point attempts in the entire NBA. Maxey, not only does he take the most on the Sixers from a pull-up three-pointer, but he's taken the 5th most in the entire NBA per game. He's turned himself to a pretty good pull-up shooter. He's getting his legs back under him, so he should be able to make those shots. Maxey, 25-plus points, especially in a game. I mean, Rockets, second half of a back-to-back that went into overtime. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Like, they're not going to be playing defense in this one. So if there's ever a chance, the Sixers won't win, of course not. But if there's ever a chance for Maxey to score 25 points, it's in this matchup.
Okay. That feels right. You kind of sold me. I wouldn't go 30 plus, but I'd go 25 with it. How about that?
I think this seems reasonable. Yeah.
That's fair. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up. I know you guys are probably mailing in your job today. I mean, it's Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but just in case you want to pretend like you're working, we'll just go ahead and wrap this here. The picks are on the screen. This is going to get you started. Later on today, I'm coming back 4 p.m. using the tools at OddsJam. We're going to find more bangers just because, again, there's a million NBA games on tonight. I think it's very important that we have as much action as possible. This should get you started, though. We'll see you then.